Hi, everyone. My name is Rick Ganelli. I'm the regional director with CutTime, and I'm joined by my colleague, Allan Branch, who's head of product and support for CutTime. And we're going to talk about the old CutTime versus the new CutTime in this video. For the last several weeks, I've been talking with people who are like, I'm not sure. I've been on CutTime before and not really happy with some of the things it's doing. And we're having to say, no, this is not the old CutTime. This is the next generation of CutTime. Old CutTime is built on old technology. The new CutTime is built on new technology. And so, Allan, you've been around when all that kind of surfaced. So why do we have two versions here?
Yeah, well, I came on board about a year and a half ago with the product, and I build software companies. The other thing that I do is I'm a band dad, and so I get to experience this product from being a band dad as well as someone who's building it. We came into this project. I came along with Corey Black, who's our CEO. I've built a few companies with Corey. He's an awesome guy. He saw, because he was a former band director, that no one was truly in love with CutTime, the old product, or Charms. And he's really sort of created a really amazing ecosystem around this product with partnerships with Con Selmer and JW Pepper. Originally JW Pepper had created CutTime, what we're calling CutTime Classic, and you can find that at cuttime.net. That's really the old product. It was created about 20 years ago. It was not, I would say, kept up with. And it really is on a technology block that no one really writes much anymore, called Cold Fusion. In fact, most software developers, if you said, hey, I want you to work on a Cold Fusion product, they would go, ooh, no way. And so it hadn't really been kept up with. And that resulted in a lot of crashes and hiccups and clumsy UI. It wasn't really actively developed. And it certainly wasn't actively developed in a style that gives you the best product. What I mean by that is an iterative approach to software development. Old software development was much more of like an ivory tower approach. Here's the features you get. We'll check in with you in 6 months to a year and give you some more features. But in iterative development, what you see in modern software companies is this approach where you launch a small feature and you listen to feedback and you say, what would you need us to do next? And you gather feedback, and you're constantly in these little small development cycles, launching little enhancements to the product, and it gets better and better over time, and it gets better and better with feedback. And so one thing that I do is talk to hundreds of educators, administrators, booster clubs. My wife is the vice president of our booster club. I'm actually volunteering this Friday in the concession stand. I'll be on the grill. And so, yeah, right. And so you listen to people and you listen to their real world situations. Great software comes from hearing about situations and going, how do we solve that situation with software? Can it be solved with software? And great software comes from that sort of quick iterative communication and conversation. So it's really exciting to be working on this product. One, as a software person, because I use it as a parent too. And it's really fun talking to band directors who typically love their jobs. So that's also refreshing in this industry.
Absolutely. Well, and I can attest to the fact I wasn't going to mention this, but I think I will, just because it hopefully it will make more sense to everybody listening. I was with Con Selmer for 10 years, and I was very involved with the inventory program. And so it was a natural fit for me to come over to the CutTime side. And I can tell you, Allan asked me a number of questions, as did a lot of other folks on the CutTime side, about what does it need to do? What does it need to look like from a district fine arts perspective, from a administrator perspective? What do you need? And so, hearing the care that's being put into this, it was sort of a no-brainer for me to want to jump on that bandwagon and work with the CutTime team. So yeah, we're excited about this new version. And I guess bottom line here, guys, if you haven't been with CutTime in the last year and a half, you have not been with the next generation of CutTime. Yeah. So please don't get that confused with maybe what's been around for a while. And we're going to talk about some additional differences in an upcoming video. So stay tuned. So Allan, I know that running a software development team must be pretty challenging. You're getting requests. Can it do this? Can it do that?
Right.
What's it going to look like? So what do you see as the most challenging part of this for your team?
Right. Well, anyone in any leadership position, whether it's a fine arts director or someone running a software team, is inundated with feedback. The band directors get just piled on by parents and their principal and their district administrator and students. They're always just throwing them feedback on, we should do this and we should do that. And it's the job of leadership to really think about what we should do and when we should do it. How do we execute it? And so that's really my job. So I sit between the product development team and the customer support team, and I hear feedback, lots and lots of feedback. And we pick what we can work on, when we can work on it, and when we should work on it. So, a lot of things that we need, we hear is like, how do you wrap up the end of the year? Well, we'll figure that out when we get closer to the end of the year, those kind of things. And so it's a lot of times leadership is picking, how to launch something and when to launch something. And so, you're listening to this giant crowd of people that you have around you, which is our customers. Fine arts directors or program directors are surrounded by a group of people. We're surrounded by our customers as well. So it's all about listening and then communicating back what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, so no one's surprised. We don't want to surprise people. This is a product in active development, so we're always rolling out new things, but typically when people log into software, they don't want to be surprised. So we're trying to avoid that, listening to the crowd but not surprising them.
And I guess in layman's terms, what I've been saying to people, this next generation of CutTime is smarter, faster, more intuitive, more user-friendly than anything that's been developed in the past. So, again, the new CutTime, the next generation of CutTime, is a much different product than what we've seen in the old classic version of CutTime.
Well, and it's a lot easier. It would have been a lot easier for us just to copy old CutTime or copy Charms and just give you a new product with different colors and different borders and say, you're welcome. But we really wanted to challenge a lot of those old features. One of them is a login. So guardians and students do not have a username and password login style. Now, program directors and your staff and booster clubs who manage the data do have a login and password. But really, something that's come around the past 10 years is something called a magic link, which requires a PIN, but you click a link in a text message and it logs you right in, and you don't have to remember it. Because what we heard was parents can never remember their passwords. Parents can never remember their email addresses. They have a hard time getting into the program. So we want to eliminate that hurdle for both students and guardians by giving them new technology called a magic link. So there's a lot of things that we're doing now that's challenging sort of old status quo of software. And that does create some confusion because people, I think, they see that we're migrating customers over and they just assume it's an exact apples for apples product. And it's not. It's actually what we think it is. It's better, but we are challenging some of the old features that people think they have to have with new ways and new workflows. So it is we've taken the hard road.
Yeah, from our surveys that we've done with our webinars, the Magic Link by far has been the most popular component, or the thing that people really like to see. I've talked to people that want to switch to the new version of CutTime just because of the Magic Link. And the new version can also do some really great things in terms of scanning with their phones instead of using an old scanner. Isn't that right?
Yeah. So again, the old 2005 version is plug your scanner in and go scan things, right? But we have these, we live on these things, right? And these things have cameras that can read barcodes and QR codes, and we can be better. And so it would have been a lot easier for us just to integrate with a scanner than to try to write our own library through your mobile device. But this is how people work now. You have especially for program directors, you have really workflows in a desktop setting or a laptop setting, and then you have workflows that really are designed around mobile experiences. And software now is really a mobile first approach. Traditional software too. When I say traditional, I mean like previous 2008 really was, it didn't think about onboarding customers and the customer journey of how they experience a product as someone who's new to someone who's been around for a year. And you have different needs of migrating your data over, getting set up, and then keeping the parents informed and reporting, and also those things are things that you experience as you become sort of a power user in software. And so we really bringing sort of modern standards of practice and design to a piece of software that was old. And so that requires a lot of communication, and there is a lot of confusion in the communication. It's really hard in the situation to communicate just the right amount without over communicating or under communicating. You know, a lot of confusion we have now is customers who have onboarded into the new product are still going to the old domain to log in, and they'll say, "Where's my account?" And you'll say, "Oh, well, you're in the new product." And you know, so really what I think is moving the data over from the CutTime Classic to the new next gen product is really easy. It's like 30 minutes of work, but breaking the inertia of parents' habits of logging into the old program, changing your website, not to link old CutTime, but to link the new CutTime, all those things are actually much harder to break habits. Anyone who signed for a gym membership knows it's hard to break habits, but you know, breaking the habit of students and guardians going to the old software and old styles of development and getting them into the new product is much harder than bringing the data over. The data onboarding is the easy part.
Right.
So,
well, and I guess a big thing to also remember is that the CutTime Classic isn't going to change at this point. It's not going to be upgraded. It's, you know, if people are on it, I'm sure the bug fixes will be taken care of, it, be supported, but all the resources, the time and the energy, they're going into the new generation of CutTime. So that's where we're going to see all the newest and latest and greatest features.
Totally. I would add to that, we are encouraging people to migrate to the new product. And there's a certain person that loves to be the early adopter that knows that we're listening to feedback. Some people want, if you hear, "Oh, you're going to migrate and we want feedback," and that stresses you out, just stay on the old product for another year. But if you are excited to give feedback and excited to test things and really shape a product that's going to shape an industry, I would encourage you to come over now and be a part of shaping this product in its early stages and its most nimble stages, because we really want feedback and we need it. And so some people get excited when they hear that, and some people go, "Oh God, I want to stay with the expected thing that I know," because there is some time to learn something new. I mean, whether it's a new blender in your kitchen or it's a new piece of software, you got to learn something new. It takes a little time. But some people enjoy that process. So we also have tremendous support. We give demos constantly, we showing the product and answering questions. The last thing we want to do is onboard you into the new product without you knowing the product. And so we have onboarding guides and demos for one-on-one help. And we answer lots of questions every day. I see every question as well that comes in. I answer a lot of them too. And so maybe that's exciting too. And if that is, I would encourage you to go through the forms and submit some of the onboarding forms.
Appreciate that, Allan. Thanks for clarifying all that, because that's hopefully gives people a better understanding of what we're trying to do in separating the two as people move forward. So again, everyone, not to beat a dead horse here, but old CutTime is CutTime Classic. New CutTime is the next generation of CutTime, and that's where you eventually want to be, with some great new features that are constantly being added on a regular basis with Allan and his wonderful team. So we hope this has helped you to understand the differences. Just be sure you go to our website, gocutTime.com, for more information and many demos, and we'll be listening to you. Thank you.